I'd now like to welcome a student that happily inhabits the intersection of the arts and sciences. Please welcome Clara Pakman.
I'm going to kick this off by telling you the story of my life, but slightly abridged. I've had the same diary since I was in 4th grade, the same age Mrs. Abbott was when her loving and supportive teacher told her she had absolutely nothing special about her. Looking back on these entries allows me to see what kind of a person I was before I was, well, truly a person. I will admit that the vast majority of these entries consist of embittered proclamations of hatred directed towards my little brother Sam, such as this one, which reads, "Dear Diary, I just hate Sam. I want to rip his stupid little face off his stupid little head. I know Santa will see this, but too bad, because this is just the way I feel, and I'm just letting it out. I hope he understands." Well, if I look past this content that is entirely inappropriate for school, I come to the realization that I had 3 main interests as a kid: books, poetry, and video games. Here are a few more entries that illustrate my different interests. Well, these also really reference my hatred for Sam, but you can see that this one ends off with, "I'm going to look for my poetry notebook now." And this one talks about, "I'm going to go write a story." And this last one here celebrates my love for Pokemon. So as a kid, when asked the question, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" you can imagine I cycled through a variety of answers. Throughout elementary school, it was an artist. In middle school, it was an author. And at the end of middle school, I took a drastic turn. I decided I wanted to be at the forefront of designing virtual reality technology in desperate hopes of one day being able to transport myself into a fabricated version of the Pokemon world. That then somehow morphed into the goal of becoming a neuroscientist, and now that I've finally matured enough to get my priorities straight, I've realized I want to be a combination of all of it. Over the summer, I was at Oxford for a week to study critical thinking. Here's a picture of me and my group thinking very critically. Anyway, I was talking to one of the administrators, and when I mentioned to him that I wanted to combine engineering and art/literature, he looked at me like I had just dissed the Queen and proclaimed, "They're incompatible." I couldn't help but firing back by saying, "No, they're not, and one day I'll prove it to you." I firmly believe that an English student can still be a math whiz, and a chemistry major can be a brilliant artist. There's no need to trap students into academic compartmentalization because it forces them to believe that they can only be good at one thing, and in turn prevents them from realizing their full potential. Luckily, St. Luke's is a school that encourages exploration across many different disciplines. I was so thrilled when I heard that they were tacking this new Arts and Humanities wing right onto the edge of the science hallway, because to me, it represented the symbolic merging of my 2 passions. This year, I've seen beautiful pieces of art made with the crazy technology in the design lab, and every time I walk through the art gallery to get to my science classroom, I give a little "I told you so" to the Oxford man in my head who's still shouting, "They're incompatible." However, the Oxford man still wants to know how I'm going to change the world with my fever dreams of artistic computer science, and maybe you do too. This year, through the STEM Scholars Program at school, I've been given the opportunity to independently pursue a project of my own invention. So, much to my 4th grade self-satisfaction, I'm making a video game. But I couldn't bear to do something STEM-related without adding a humanities flair. So this game's going to be different. It's a game for change, which means it intends to impart some social or personal lesson to the player via the storyline and gameplay. Here's a shot of my game in development. Designing a game for change means I get to do all the art, devise a complex storyline, code the whole thing, and then investigate the psychological changes within the player. So I really do like to think I found a way to be an artist, an author, a VR designer, and a neuroscientist all at once. Take that, Oxford man. Thank you. I want to end this off by saying it's truly not every day you find a place where you have the freedom to be both an engineer and an artist, or a scientist and an author, or all of those things meshed into one crazy amalgamation. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough to be at a school where I'm able to not only explore all these passions, but to combine them into something that allows the incompatible to become compatible. So, when my game tops charts, I will absolutely have St. Luke's to thank. Thank you.